Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am getting ready to start editing this What I Eat in a Day video, and I realized that I never filmed an intro for it. So this is going to be a What I Eat in a Day video on the WW Purple plan, but at the end of the day, I'm going to give you my point totals on all three plans, blue, purple, green, and I'm also going to give you my calorie total. I don't count calories every day, but you know, every once in a while, once every week or two, I plug them into MyFitnessPal just to see where I am. And this day's results were really interesting. So you might want to watch till the end to make sure that you get like that information, because you might be surprised. So without further ado, let's just jump into the video. Thanks for watching. Hey you guys, I'm just leaving the gym. I did about 30 minutes of cross training on the elliptical, so I'm all glowy, and I'm gonna go home and hopefully my breakfast is cooking. I'm testing out the delayed start on my oven. Anybody else have that where you can set a time for it to start? I also have the cook time where it should stop cooking, but I wanted to test out the delayed start, and I'll show you what I'm having for breakfast. So far I've just had coffee and a banana. So I'm gonna go home and do some stretching and then eat my breakfast. And by the way, I did finally consult with a PT, kind of unofficially a physical therapist. A friend of my husband's, actually his old boss, he took her place at the church. In her first career, she was a physical therapist. She's retired, but she, you know, said, yeah, come on over and I'll, you know, have you do some stuff and see if I can help you out. I told her what was going on with my running and with my calf being sore and being in some pain where that was concerned. And she had me do stuff for like 60 seconds and was like, I think this is the problem. And basically, we think what's going on is that one of the muscles in my calf, the gastroc, is very tight. And also I have an over rotation in my right hip. And so it's one of those things, there's probably a couple of different things going on that are contributing to that soreness in my leg. And since I did too much too quickly, I just kind of exacerbated the problem. So she gave me some stretches and some moves to do to kind of help strengthen and stretch out that muscle and strengthen my hip to try to keep it from over rotating so much. And I have done those like religiously. I've done what she said to do. So after a week of that, which was last Saturday, I went out and did a 4-mile jog and it was great. Was not feeling that pain. I was very careful though, not to overdo it. I slowed way down, and I also am just trying to stick with my more is not always more mentality with the working out. So I just did 30 minutes of cross training on the elliptical. That's what my little half marathon training schedule says for today. I'm not going to do more just because I can. That can lead to problems down the line. So I'm kind of still tentatively doing the half marathon training. And the one that I have downloaded, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. I've picked it because it's actually less running. You only run 3 days a week, 2 short runs and 1 long run, and then you do 2 days of cross training. So I'm just gonna kind of keep going with that and see how far I get. But I may not be able to do it. It just depends on how my leg and my hip keep acting up. So anyway, let's go home. I'll show you what I'm having for breakfast. Hey you guys, I just finished getting ready. I'm about to head off to work, and I did eat my breakfast while I was getting ready. So I'll just tell you about it and then I'll put some pictures in here. I made myself a breakfast casserole. I had some hash brown potatoes in the freezer. So I made this breakfast casserole from hash brown potatoes, bell peppers, 4 eggs, a little bit of chicken sausage, 4 ounces cooked of chicken sausage, and then I just seasoned it with garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. I baked that in the oven. It made 4 servings for me because I just made it in a little square pan. And for me on the purple plan, they're 1 smart point per serving because I only have to count the sausage. But again, at the end of the day, I'll tally my points across all plans and I'll let you know how much they are. I did not put any cheese on that breakfast casserole because I wanted to be able to put different kinds of cheese on it each day depending on what I want. So today I topped it with my favorite cottage cheese. It's the Good Culture organic full fat cottage cheese. It does scan at 3 smart points for a half cup, but that is a lot. If I bump the serving size down just a tad, like you can have up to 100 grams of it for just 2 smart points. I put 80 grams on my breakfast bowl this morning. That cottage cheese does not scan correctly, but whenever I put the correct nutrition information into the calculator in the app, it doesn't change the points, but it's very flavorful. I like it a lot. So my breakfast was 3 points. That was my dryer or my washer going off, by the way. I feel like it's always going when I'm making videos in the kitchen. Potatoes. If you are working the purple plan, potatoes are 0 points, and it can be challenging to find hash brown potatoes in the grocery store that do not have added oils, because that would make them worth points. I have so far come across 2. One of them is my favorite. It's at Sprouts. It's an organic hash brown potatoes. It's in the frozen food section, and it's 0 points, and it is just potatoes. That's it. This one is from Aldi. It's a hash brown potato. It's in the freezer section, and it also scans at 0 points. And when I look at the ingredient list, I was a little surprised because there's no oils in it, but it's potatoes, and then less than 2% of a few things, one of them being dextrose, which is another word for sugar. However, I guess the sugar content is so low that it keeps it at 0 points. I don't know, but I'm not worried about less than 2% of something. So that is what I use to make my breakfast casserole. As I said, I am trying to use stuff up this week, and I have 1 helping of taco soup that I froze from a couple weeks ago. That's 3 smart points for me on the purple plan, and I'm taking ½ an ounce of cheese to top that with. And then I think I'll just throw some baby carrots in my bag to munch on. I ate my breakfast kind of late, so I'll probably eat my lunch kind of late, or I don't need a really big lunch, but that's what I ate for breakfast. That's what I'm packing for lunch, and I will check in with you guys around snack time. It's the afternoon now, and in about an hour, I've got to run the kids around town for activities, and I am really hungry. That soup just did not do it for me today. When I made it a few weeks ago, I was eating it with a little bit of brown rice, and I thought when I froze it that I had frozen the brown rice in it, but apparently I didn't. So I just had the soup, which is fine, but I'm very hungry now, and I want something kind of substantial that's going to tide me over, so I'm going to make some oatmeal. And I thought that I would talk with you guys for just a second about oatmeal. I was always under the impression that steel cut oats are the very best and that they're better for us and we should only eat those, you know, if we really want to be healthy, that rolled oats and especially quick oats aren't as nutritious, you know, da-da-da-da-da. But in doing my research a little more with oats, if you were eating the suggested serving size, I've got mine on the stove, I got to turn it down here. If you were eating the suggested serving size, the macronutrients are pretty much the same. It really comes down to, for me, it comes down to the texture that I want. And supposedly steel cut oats, well, and how long you want to cook them, because steel cut oats take the longest to cook, and then rolled oats, and then quick oats. And steel cut oats supposedly are like a little chewier kind of texture, but I like a more creamy oatmeal. And so that's why I use the quick oats. Now, I will say that the suggested serving size is ½ a cup of dry oats. And for me, that's just too much. That's a little too much oatmeal. That's more than I want to eat. So I do more like 1/3 of a cup, maybe, you know, a little bit more than 1/4 cup of oats, and I use about 2/3 of a cup of water or so with that, and I just make them on the stove. I like to top mine, you guys know, with peanut butter, banana, and I love to put a little bit of this Himalayan pink salt on it. Luckily, I have another one because this one's almost out. And I also like to top it with just a few of the Lily's chocolate chips, or this is the Bake Believe. This is the Walmart brand of the Lily's chocolate chips. Now, I do use my Fit Points to have an extra serving of full-fat dairy and an extra serving of fats each day if I want them. Some days I don't want them. I just let my hunger be my guide. On days when I don't work out or I don't work out rigorously, I don't always need them. So lots of days I only use one or the other, so I'm not going to count my peanut butter. Normally that would be 3 points. So the only thing that I'm going to count in the oatmeal, since oats, all kinds of plain oats, are 0 points on the purple plan, is the 1 gram of Lily's chocolate chips. But I will track that all on my tracker so that when I switch it over tonight to the blue and the green plans, I can see where I would have landed with points. So that's what I'm going to have for a snack, just a really hearty snack on a really cold winter day after a really light lunch and after my morning workout, just to kind of get me through. Dinner tonight is a baked ziti recipe, which I will talk about more in my what's for dinner video, which will go up, but my portion is 5 smart points on the purple plan, and then I just have some broccoli with some salt and pepper on the side. Yummy. I don't know why, but this has been like a go-to snack, dessert, treat, whatever you want to call it. What I have here is an apple that I peeled, cored, and diced. I sprinkled a little cinnamon and my sweetener of choice, which is Truvia, a little packet of that on it, and then I put it in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. I let it cool down, and then I pop it in the fridge for a little bit to cool it off even more. And now I'm going to put just a little drizzle of this yogurt on it. Check this stuff out, you guys. It's organic, plain whole milk yogurt from 100% grass-fed cows. This is like super clean. It's 7 points for a serving, but a serving is a cup. A cup is a lot of yogurt, and I just want a little drizzle of it on here. So I'm gonna do an ounce. And I'm just gonna drizzle that over the top. Boop. Boop. A little bit more for good measure. That's 1 point worth of like really clean yogurt. And then I am going to add 9 grams of this granola. See if I can get it right on the money or close to it. 5 grams, 6, 7, 8, 9, yay. And I don't know, just the sweetness of the apples and the tartness of the yogurt and the crunchiness of the granola, it's just a really good combination. So I'm going to enjoy that. All right, you guys, the numbers are in, and this is kind of interesting. As of right now on the purple plan, I'm at 15 out of 16 points. On the blue plan, I am at 24 out of 23 points, so I'm 1 point over on the blue plan. And on the green plan, I would have been 27 out of 30 points. But on calories, I'm way under. I'm only at about 1,450 calories, 1,450 calories. And when I am in weight loss mode, I try to eat around 1,700 calories. 1,450 calories is barely over my BMR, my basal metabolic rate, which is what my body would need to maintain my weight if I was in a coma. So, and that is case in point why I trade my fit points for an extra serving of fat and dairy every day. If I can't, well, not every day, but when I can or when I want them. If I had had my dairy today, if I'd had like a Siggy's yogurt, and if I had had, you know, half a cup of brown rice with my lunch like I'd planned, that would have closed the gap on my calories. So it's just interesting. And you might be thinking, well, you can just add more 0 point foods to up your calories. But I feel like I'm doing okay on that. I had 1.5 bananas, 1 apple. I had some bell peppers with my breakfast. I had a very hefty portion of broccoli with my dinner. I had potatoes. I had beans and corn in my soup. I had pasta at dinner time. So I'm eating the 0 point foods. I had oatmeal and I tracked all of that on my Weight Watchers app, except for the peanut butter, because like I said, I trade my fit points for that, but I did not have my extra serving of dairy that I normally allow, and not having that rice, it just put me under my calories for the day. So I could still have my yogurt, but I'm just not feeling it, maybe because I just had some with that apple and that granola. So instead, I'm gonna have a string cheese. This would be 3 points, I think, the organic string cheese from Trader Joe's, but again, I'm not gonna count it. I'm gonna say my fit points are covering it. And then I think I'm gonna have a couple points worth of pretzels, just because I kind of want something like salty and crunchy. So that would put me at 17 points on purple, 26 points on blue, and 29 points on green. And you might also be thinking, Mindy, why don't you just switch to green? You can still eat those foods, and then you can use your extra points to have your fat and your dairy. Well, I don't want to track that much. I actually don't track every single thing in my tracker. I did it today so that I could flip my tracker to the other plans and tell you what my points would have been on this day. But one of the reasons I like the purple plan is because I only have to track certain things that are worth points. And I think that I'm pretty good about, you know, intuitively feeding myself those 0 point foods in appropriate portions. So like I said, it works when I work the plan, but today I dropped the ball in a few places and fell short on my calories. So I am gonna eat these little things, and probably explains why I'm a little bit still kind of a little bit hungry here at the end of the day. I just didn't quite get enough food, but it also sort of verifies for me that I'm doing the right thing, adding those fit point fuel foods back in. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope some of that is helpful, or I don't know, encouraging in some way, or interesting, I guess, maybe. And I'll check in with you guys very soon with another video sometime. Good night.